All right, Beis Hashem, Perik Yudalid, that's where we're holding. Also, very, very practical, specifically because until now, the Heilige Tanya has been very, almost theoretical, telling us and exploring for us what it means, a tzaddik, a beinoni, and a rasha. And now it's going to get as practical as possible. Lemaisa, what can we do about it? In Perek Yud Gimel, we explained, and Perek Yud Beis also, the idea of how every single person can become a beinoni, at least for a short amount of time, because at the end of the day, what we all understand now over here is that a beinoni is someone that's careful in his machshava dibur maisa, because those remain always pure. The inner core, he hasn't changed. The essence is still exactly the same, right? The taivas be'etzem are there, right? But just he doesn't allow his body or his machshava or anything to get involved and to dwell on them, right? As we mentioned many times, that a person has no bechira over a thought that comes into his head. That we don't have a bechira to. But the question is what we do with it. That's the kasha. Okay? So again, this beinoni, he hasn't worked on his inner core. It's the same as everything else, but he's worked on his outer shell, on the dibur machshava and maisa, which is very, very pure. So, v'hinei, midas ha-beinoni hi, midas kol odom. And this is very important. The Heilige Tanya is not giving you a bit of chizuk. He's not telling you, Avada, you could do it. Because he doesn't say you can become a tzaddik. We'll see later on. Clearly, you cannot become the tzaddik of the Tanya. You have to be born that way. That has to be your mission in this world. And for most of us, maybe I speak for myself, that's not our mission. But I'll upon him, a beinoni, it's a midas kol odom. It's reachable for everyone. Va'achrei kol odom yimshoich. Not only is it attainable to everyone, but it's also attainable right now for everyone over here. Remember, the beinoni is not refining the inner core. That's a tzaddik. Okay, we're talking about the case that the beinoni is being careful with his actions. He's careful with his machshava. He's careful with what goes on after that machshava comes into his head. Boom, he throws it right out. That's a beinoni. Not that it came in. It came in is fine. It's what he does with it. Shekol Adam Yochol Lios Beinoni B'chol Eis U'B'chol Shah. Here he's going to tell you, unlike we learned previously, where he was giving us the idea that during tefillah specifically, or I think at the end of this year, I think we were discussing the Gabi Torah also could be the same time as well. There's not specific times that are limited that you could become a beinoni. It be'etzem could be all the time, whenever you want. Right? You have to be in control, of course. Ki ha-beinoni eino moyes b'ra shezeu davar mos lalev. We said that yesterday in Perek Gimel. The beinoni is not disgusted by the bad. That's a tzaddik. A tzaddik is disgusted by anything bad. With tachlis amius. V'loi kol itim shavas, and not all times are equal. Ella. Because simply speaking, because at the end of the day, as for example we said, during davening is a time that a person gets awakened with this connection and this love and this ava, of Hashem. But straight after davening, it goes back to normality, it goes back to normal life. But now what he wants to tell us is something very, very important. How is it negeya? What should we do and what can we do practically to become a beinoni all the time, or at least many times throughout our lives, throughout our day? And asumera va'asei tov. What does that mean? Dahainu. B'foil mamish. B'maisa dibu u'machshava. Shebehem abchira v'ayocheles v'rishus l'suna l'chol odom l'asais. U'ledaber lachshu gam mashu neged haivas liboy v'hefcha mamish. That means we have bechira. We have the ability to choose. And the rishus is within us. We have the ability to decide what to do, what to say, and what to think. Key. Now there was the practical way to do this. He's now talking very practically. These are the steps that the Baal Tanya is telling us what we have to take to become this beinoni. Even at the time where the lave, the heart, is giving you these taivas of gashmias beheta, meaning things that are absolutely mutter, but you're doing only l'shem taiva. I want to have a steak. Nothing wrong. It's a good steak. It's a good haksha. Everything's kavaldik. There's nothing wrong with the steak. I'm doing it l'shem taiva. I'm doing l'shem taiva, which we spoke about isn't exactly what was meant to be done. Oi be'isachas v'shalom. So he's telling you what happens when a person is being gripped by the Yetzer Hara at that moment. Nefesh Bahamas is telling him either to do something, to eat something, to perform some kind of gashmias, some kind of physical pleasure that's mutter al pi halacha, but being done only purely for the sake of pleasure, or to do some kind of issa, Zog the Heilige Baal Tanya, Yochol liskaver ulasiach daita b'menu legamri. You have the ability to overpower, to be Masiach Das, right? Completely put it away from your memory, from your mind, from your thoughts. But to say to your heart. Again, Rabbi said this is practical steps of becoming a Beinani. I don't want to be a Rasha, even for one moment. This is the key. The Tanya has just told us the key. How can we become a Beinani? And that the moment you need to be present. That moment your Yetzirah is telling you, do this, do that, look at that, say that, think that, hear that, whatever it may be, even if it's something mutal l'shem gashmias, or it's something asa chas v'shalom, at that moment you say no, because you have free choice. If you live in the present, you have the choice to say, no, I don't want to be a Rasha at this exact moment. I don't want to be a Rasha at this exact moment. I want to be with Hashem. That's a Beinani. At that exact moment, your good is overpowering your bad. You are a Beinani at that exact moment. Now again, remember, by doing that, I'm not changing my inner core. It's not changing, which is fine. That's a tzaddik's job. It's not our job. It's not a Beinani's job. That's not his mahalach. That's not his madrega. His job is not really to change the core. That's too hard. But his malbush, right, the clothing, the spiritual clothing of the dibur machshava and maisa, that I am changing. And that I'm looking after. I'm being shomer. I'm being careful of that. I'm controlling over it. Mimela, just like a person has control over what he thinks about, how much he dwells over certain thoughts, what he says, how much he says it, how he says it, whatever. So if you have control over those things, machshava, dibur, maisa, so at that moment you are a Beinani exactly over there. I don't want to be separated, chas v'shalom, from the Rabbeinu Shalom, even for a moment. Right? In other words, you have to look at the whole picture, not what I did before, not what I'm going to do afterwards. Right now, this moment that I'm living, that I'm getting this taiva, I don't want to be separated from Hashem. And an Avera separates us from Hashem. We're not connected. We're not connected as much as we were before in that case. Focus on the moment. That's what the Tanya is telling us. Kediksiv, state, Avaneseim Avdilim, right? The Pasuk tells us clearly these are the things that separate us from Hashem. It's Averas. So that's the Surmei Ra part. Again, Surmei Ra va'asei toiv are the two mahacham that the Tanya told us we need to know if we want to practically become a Beinani right now. So the Surmei Ra means that. When a taiva comes into your head, when a davei asa comes into your head, machshava dibur maisa, I push it away, it's gone, I'm a vatle, I'm overpowering it, I'm a Beinani at this moment. Why? Because right now I don't want to be a Rasha. Right now I want to be connected with Hashem. Right now I want to be close to Hashem. I don't want to be separated from Hashem. Think those thoughts. Because that's what it is that makes a person into a Beinani. Now we're going to talk about now the Asei Toiv. Rak, ani roit to the dovka boy, nafshi ruchi v'nishmasi. I want to connect, I want to cling to the Rabbeinu Shalom with my nefesh, with my ruach, with my neshama. Bislab shom b'shloish shavushav. Yismog shei ma'aseh dibur machshava b'Hashem v'toyrosoi u'mitzvoisov. Ba'ava musteresh b'libi la'Hashem. The ava that's hidden, that's dormant in my heart to Hashem. I want it to be on fire with Hashem, connected in all parts of my neshama. That means even the most disconnected Jew is willing to give up his life when he's faced with a convert or die question. When you have the lowest type of Jew, and there's been all these stories throughout the Holocaust, we all heard these stories. We had these Yidden, unbelievable Yidden that were so disconnected from Yiddishkeit. When the Nazis in Makshimam asked them to, and we've heard stories like this, right? I think I once said over a story, could be I said it once by Slichas, if I remember correctly. I don't remember where it was, I don't remember who it was, but I definitely said that there was a Yid who was no Shaykh as Yiddishkeit. Forget, he was mamish on the opposite. And the Nazis in Makshimam came in and they said, open up the Sefer Torah, now step on it. And he refused. And people couldn't believe it. Because he has no shaykhs to Yiddishkeit. But when it comes, push comes to shove, as they say, even the most disconnected Yid, when it comes to convert or die, most of them will consider the dying. Why? Because they wouldn't dare do anything else. Zuk the Balatana, that's what he's saying. Again, I'm worse than them? I'm going to know Madrega than them? No way! I'm not going to do this. What's the reason why I do an Aveira? Because Shtusim came into my head. That's why I'm doing this. I have this thought in my head that if I do this Aveira, don't worry, I'm still okay, I'm still connected. I don't want to be a shaita to deny the emes over here. This formula is what the Baal Tanya is telling you is the most practical formula to tell yourself. B'shas Maisa, when the Yetzer is burning inside you and he's chalishing, do this, look at that, say this, type this, whatever it may be, this is what a person meant to be thinking that. Get both the Sumei Ra and the Asay Tov. Both the Sumei Ra, meaning get rid of the bad, push it out, get rid of it because I don't want to be separated from Hashem, but also in the Asay Tov part, that I want to sanctify my life, I want my neshama to be close to Rabbeinu Shalom. When you do that, you are now a Beinani. At this moment, you're a Beinani, because a Beinani by Metzias is not someone that changed his inner core, his essence, but someone that is overpowering his Nefesh Bahamas. He's overpowering the Yetzer Hara. Mimeda, at that moment, you're a Beinani, which means that it's not only during Kriya Shema that a person can be a Beinani. He can basically be a Beinani all throughout the day, when the Taiva is chapping him and telling him to go, Azor and Azor. No, I'm not doing this. I want to be close to Hashem. I want to have a shaykas to Hashem. I want to be dovuk to Hashem. I don't want to be a shaita. I'm not willing to do this. Absolutely not. I don't want to be a Rosh even for a moment. Boom. He's a Beinani at that moment. Now, let's just go one last paragraph and the Mitzvah Hashem, either Thursday or Sunday after Dubai, Be'ez Hashem will try to continue and finish off the Perek because it's very important how he answers up kashas all the way from Perek Aleph by Iyov. Meaning, by the Nefesh Halakis, the Hainu. Sheharamos mamash belev. If the bad is disgusted in his heart, the son of B'tachas Sinah, right? Oh, yeah, Fidush Leb'tachas Sinah. Maybe he doesn't hate it that much, but he does hate it to some degree. That means the only way he can do it is by igniting the love that he has for the Rabbeinu Shalom and having that deep, incredible ava. And if a person's real pleasure in this world is avas Hashem and avodas Hashem, his whole desire is not for self-gratification, but really to give the Shekhinah to the Rabbeinu Shalom, to give Hana to the Shekhinah. That's olam haba in this world. That's really getting Hana in this world. That's really considered to be a tzaddik. That's a tzaddik. Not everyone is Zoicha. Not everyone is Zoicha. It's Mefurish Tanya. This is something specifically. We'll see later on in Perek Mem Gimel. For those of you that have got patience, in Perek Mem Gimel we'll talk more about that. But that's a tzaddik. But a Beinani, every single one of us can be at any time during the day. Now what we have to do, Be'ez Hashem, we'll try to do either Thursday or Sunday, Bli Neder. We're going to finish on Perek Yudalad, answering the kashas of what Iyov had to the Rabbeinu Shalom, what we discussed in Perek Aleph, Be'ez Hashem. Join us then.